In the modern cybersecurity landscape, we are conditioned to rely on multi-factor authentication. We are told to use our phones for SMS codes, or to carry hardware tokens to stay safe. But in the world of national security, those very devices are considered liabilities. What happens when you are in a war zone? What happens when you are inside a SCIF, a sensitive compartmented information facility, where mobile phones, USB tokens, and even Bluetooth-enabled wearable devices are strictly forbidden because they can be used as listening devices? In these zero-device environments, the standard security stack fails. You can't get a text code. You can't tap a YubiKey. This is the invisible moat of BioKey International, ticker BKYI, while the rest of the market fights over software-based identity. BioKey is dominating the hardware niche of identity-bound biometrics. They don't authenticate a device you carry. They authenticate who you are. On March 5, 2026, they hit a massive fundamental milestone, surpassing $2 million in total military and defense bookings within the last year alone. Today, we are tearing apart the tech that secures over 50,000 military users for a major foreign defense ministry. Let's talk about the difference between device biometrics and identity-bound biometrics (IBB). When you unlock a smartphone with Face ID, that biometric data is stored locally on the device. If a sophisticated actor steals that device or bypasses the local hardware, they are in. BioKey's technology, specifically their Portal Guard and Passkey (U) platforms, anchors the biometric identity to a central, hardened server managed by the organization. This is the definition of Phish-Proof authentication. In a world where AI-generated deepfakes can trick employees into revealing passwords, you cannot phish a live palm print or a fingerprint scanned on a certified device. BioKey's hardware meets the rigorous NIST and FBI, FAP fingerprint acquisition profile standards for accuracy and spoof detection, because the data is stored as an irreversible cryptographic hash, even if the central database were breached. A hacker wouldn't have your biometric, they would just have a string of mathematical noise. For defense ministries, this provides total accountability. The system logs the actual person who accessed the file, not just the device that was present. In high-stakes intelligence operations, certain areas are designated as FME Foreign Material Exclusion or SCIFs. These are rooms designed to prevent any form of electronic eavesdropping. If you bring a smartphone or a USB token inside, you have just introduced a potential backdoor for signal exfiltration. This is why many defense agencies have a hard ban on the very tools most of us use for security. BioKey has spent years tailoring their hardware specifically for these restricted zones. Their scanners, such as the EcoID 3 or the Sideswipe, connect directly to secure workstations via encrypted channels. They provide a deviceless experience that allows an officer to move from terminal to terminal across different security clearings without carrying a single physical key. This is why their Defense and Intelligence Cybersecurity Initiative, launched in mid-2025, is scaling so aggressively they are solving a physical, logistical nightmare that software giants like Microsoft or Okta cannot touch because their models are built on the assumption that every user has a smartphone. On March 5, 2026, BioKey announced a $280,000 follow-on order from a long-term foreign defense ministry customer. On its own, in a world of billion-dollar defense deals, $280,000 sounds like a rounding error. But when you look at the cumulative momentum, the story changes. This single ministry has now booked $1.14 million with BioKey in the last 12 months, representing a massive deployment for over 50,000 licensed users. This is the classic land and expand strategy that investors look for. Once a defense ministry trusts your biometric engine to secure their elite cyber defense units, they begin rolling it out to the broader infantry, logistics, and administrative departments. Total military and defense bookings for the company have now surpassed $2 million over the past year. For a company with a market cap that has hovered in the microcap range between $7 million and $12 million, having $2 million in high-margin, mission-critical defense contracts is a massive signal of fundamental undervaluation relative to its strategic importance. How does a microcap company in New Jersey reach the thousands of federal, state, and local agencies across the United States? You don't do it by hiring a massive sales force, you do it through aggregators. On March 12, 2026, BioKey announced a strategic partnership with TD SYNNEX Public Sector, formerly known as DLT Solutions. TD SYNNEX is a gatekeeper. They hold the contract vehicles, the pre-approved government shopping lists that allow agencies to buy technology with a single signature. By integrating BioKey's Portal Guard and hardware scanners into the TD SYNNEX portfolio, BioKey just gained an army of third-party resellers who are already embedded in every branch of the US government. Every federal agency is currently under a zero-trust mandate to implement phishing-resistant MFA by the end of 2026. This partnership is the bridge that takes BioKey from a niche defense play to a mainstream provider of public sector infrastructure. For years, the biggest knock on BioKey was its lumpy revenue. They would land one big order and then go quiet. But in early 2026, we've seen a shift toward recurring revenue stability. On March 3, 2026, a major foreign retail bank serving over 30 million clients executed a $1.04 million license renewal. This wasn't just a renewal, it was a 30% increase in contract value year over year. Simultaneously, the company is executing a massive geographical expansion. On January 29, 2026, BioKey officially opened its first office in Mumbai, India. This move was strategically timed to coincide with the landmark EU-India Free Trade Agreement, allowing them to bypass traditional tariffs on hardware. By partnering with Citadel Global, a premier local distributor, BioKey is targeting the 1.4 billion person identity market. They aren't just selling scanners anymore. They are selling Biometric as a service, which is currently driving their annual recurring revenue or toward a targeted $6 million to $7 million range. For a company this size, that level of predictable income is the holy grail of valuation re-rating. Now, we have to look at the microcap reality. BioKey is a tiny company. Despite the military wins, their small market capitalization brings high volatility and significant liquidity risk. Their trailing financials have historically shown net losses as they've invested heavily in their defense initiatives, though they ended 2025 with approximately $2.7 million in cash on hand. The bear case is built on the scaling wall. Can they convert these partnerships into cash fast enough before they need to tap the markets for more capital? The lumpy nature of government contracts means that even with the TD SYNNEX deal, there can be long periods of silence between big checks. Furthermore, as they grow, they will face increasing competition from giants like HID Global or Thales. Investors in BKYI are not buying a stable blue-chip utility. They are buying a high-risk, venture capital-style bet on the future of identity in a post-phone world. BioKey is carving out a monopoly in the one place where big tech cannot follow: the phoneless, tokenless, high-security frontier. By securing 50,000 military users, expanding into the massive Indian market, and partnering with the largest government tech aggregator in the US, they have built a fundamental bridge to explosive growth. Are you betting on the identity trade, or is the microcap volatility too high for your portfolio? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, check out the BKYI link in the description. Remember, this is not financial advice. You're watching Stock Teller, where every ticker has a tail.